But let's get started with the question, what is love? What's love? And so we want to welcome today our relationship expert, Dr. Denise Charles. Good morning to you, to Dr. Denise. How are you doing today?
Hi, good morning, Pearson. How are you doing?
I'm very well today. Thank you so much for asking. What's love? Let's start there. What do you think it is?
Well, love is it's a collection of experiences, but I think most importantly, love is a choice. I know when we look at today's pop culture and we look at the movies we watch and the books we've read, we tend to get very connected to the idea of love as a feeling. And there are feelings associated with love, but it is not primarily a feeling. I think we get mixed up with the fact that when we see someone, there's an attraction, the chemistry is flowing, and we want to be with that person. We want to get to know them better. We want to become intimate with them. And those are initial pathways into the experience of love. But I think we can only really truly experience love after we've known someone and we've made a conscious choice to connect with them at a very deep level, both at the spiritual, the emotional, and then the sexual level. So I think love is multifaceted. It is a collection of experiences. It does include feelings, but ultimately it is a choice.
Sounds like a very practical arrangement, nevertheless. At the end of all the emotions that you might have felt at the beginning, you got to get practical. And I tend to liken
That's
love
right.
to, I tend to liken love and relationships to something like a bank account. The more you invest,
Yes,
the more you can withdraw. The less you
that's very true.
invest, you have no right to withdraw. You tell me that's
That's
quite
right.
true. So how do people today finding love make their way through that reality? Because a lot of times the fantasy of it wears off very quickly.
I think very often when we think of love, especially within the context of an intimate relationship, we tend to think a lot about getting things. We tend to think a lot about being shown love because ultimately inside of each of us is that, perhaps little child, that person who wants to feel um, totally accepted, who wants to feel that someone is totally in their corner, that someone has their back, and that someone is supporting them in every way. And I think we all yearn to feel that sense of acceptance and validation, etc. And we tend to focus a lot on ourselves. But ultimately, love is about giving. And I think when we think about investment, as you so rightfully put it just now, we have to think of what we are putting into that love bank. How are we showing this person that is so important to us how we feel about them? That is important. And I think that the more time we spend thinking about the other person and putting the other person first, I think it is actually better for the love relationship in the long haul. So I think that question of investment is something that we must think of. How does this person want to be loved? And it may not be one way. We all know about the love languages, and we might think, oh, well, I prefer to be loved in this particular way or that particular way. But ultimately, many of us have many ways that we want to be shown love. We want to be given gifts. We want to be told that we're special. We want someone to spend quality time with us. So I don't think it's necessarily about finding that one way, but trying as much as possible to think of that individual's needs. And obviously, when this is reciprocal, then we end up getting our needs met as well.
It could be so difficult though when one is so unresponsive. You've done your best, you think, and somehow it is never acknowledged. So there, and often you'd hear women complain about that. He's so annoying. That's what they would say to you. And how
That
do
he's so
we
what?
annoying? He's not answering. She's done all
Oh,
that she
annoying.
possibly could. She's washed his clothes, she's cooked his food, she's given him this or that. And somehow he doesn't show it back in equal quantity. So what do you say to her today about love?
I know that that's a very challenging one, especially for us women who desire so much to be romanced. We want to be wined and dined. So I know that that is something that many of us women, we tend to feel very strongly about. I always say to couples, it is very important to model the way you want to be loved. You want to be romanced? Well, it might not all pan out the way you want it to pan out, but maybe you could get that wine, get those candles, put those petals on the bed, create the mood, create the ambience, dress up in your fancy lingerie, get your music, create the mood for love. And not that that in itself is love, but it surely is an expression of love. And you can create what you want and show your partner how you want to be loved. I believe we must be honest in our relationships. We need to tell our partners the things that we want done, and that pertains to every aspect of the relationship. Let your partner know. Don't expect that is going to read your mind. It is a bit sad when after telling your partner what you want, he or she may say, well, I'm not into that. That's not me. I'm not a romantic novel. I'm not what you see on television. You got to accept me as I am. I think that is a bit selfish. I think each of us must be willing to give a little. And even though something may not come to you naturally, if you truly love that person and that person is the one you want to spend your life with, or the person that you are spending your life with, then I think it is right for you to accede to his or her wishes. Give them what they want. Show them the love the way that they want to be shown, even if it isn't something that you would think of on your own. I think it's really selfish when individuals say, that's not me, I'm not into that. No, you need to show love the way your partner wants to be shown that love.
But isn't that
And when
being
that's not happening,
Mhm.
yes, the individual should get creative and should model it. But when it's not reciprocated, then you have to decide if something like this is a significant deal breaker in your relationship.
But am I not being honest when I say that's not me? I don't like that. Am I not simply being honest within that relationship context?
Yeah, but what is love, Pearson? Love is about sacrifice. And if my husband likes something, even if I don't prefer it, I'm going to go all out to please him because, as far as I'm concerned, I'm about demonstrating sacrificial love. So I might not do it 24/7. I might not do it every single week, but certainly for special occasions or for something like Valentine's, which many women look forward to, or their birthdays, or even in that moment when they don't expect it. Certainly, we can sacrifice. Well, I'm talking to the men. They can sacrifice and do something very special for that woman in their life. And of course, we as women can also do it because sometimes we sit back and we wait for the man to do everything. I remember years ago, I sent my husband flowers at work. And people wanted to know if it was coming from his outside woman
I want now to
because they
turn
were expecting a wife to do something like that.
exactly.
No,
I
we
want you
got
to
to
look
get
now.
creative.
I want you to look now at love in this pandemic because we can't move around as freely as we used to. And so relationships, no doubt, I suppose, might be challenged because the physical interaction is not happening. What do you recommend to any couple today who really want to celebrate Valentine's Day, want to celebrate their love, but are challenged by the lack of the ability to get to each other?
Yes, but if they're not living in the same house, that's going to be a definite challenge. They can do a virtual night. They can have dinner together virtually. They can create their private space, maybe in each of their rooms where there's no one else around. They can have one person can have that music playing. They can each have candles. They can create a special meal, each of them. Obviously they're eating in their own homes. And I'm speaking to couples who may live apart. They can create that sense, that ambiance of romance still by each of them doing it and sharing it in the virtual space, and they can get as open and as intimate with each other as they want to. Everybody might not want to do the same things or say the same things, but that's up to the individual couple. Now, if you live in the same house like my husband and I do, we are doing a date night live on Facebook on Sunday, and this is something
Really?
that we've been doing since the pandemic started last year. We were doing date night lives from Fridays, some Saturdays, and we open it out to our Facebook followers. I have over 3,000 Facebook followers, so we open it to our followers. We share with them our life story. We talk to them, and we dance to some wonderful music. We share a glass of wine, and we invite people into our home, into our space, to enjoy our date night with us. Because date night is something that we've always done. Every Friday night was our date night. So since we've been on lockdown and we've not been going out to restaurants, we've been doing it from time to time. Not every Friday, but from time to time, we've been doing it from our living room right here in St. Philip.
That is such a wonderful idea. I like that indeed. And opening up to the world
Yes.
to watch.
So I invite you in. You can just find my Facebook account and come on in, Pearson.
I'd feel like such a peeping Tom. Okay, so there are teenagers though who are also struggling with relationships at this time. They're little girls who fall in love with a little boy and they're wanting to express
Yes.
themselves. So how do we navigate this with them?
Let them write a letter. And we know they're not into the paper pencil letters, so let them do it virtually. It can all be good. It doesn't have to be anything salacious or anything like that. Let them express how they really feel. If they're not good at writing their own poetry, or they're not good at expressing themselves, or they don't feel confident, they perhaps can find a poem that reflects how they feel. They can give them a digital card. They can give them a digital gift. There are things that you can do online that you can share to express how you feel, just as we do in the face-to-face environment. Of course, it's not going to be the same. It's never the same. And but I know since we've been on our various lockdowns or semi-lockdowns, or we've been doing a lot of things from our home because we've not been going out as much. We've created some really significant connections, and we've done it here in our home, and we've had people connect with us. So this is something that we can do. You know, we can all do. We can all reach across the miles, reach across the waters, even to other countries, and connect with people and inspire them to love. So this is something that we can have our teenagers do as well with their friends.
Oh, such wonderful advice today from our expert, our relationship expert, Dr. Denise Charles. Thank you. We're going to join you for date night tonight. How can we do so?
You can find my Facebook page. I am on Facebook as Denise Charles. Find my Facebook page. You can send me a friend request, or even if you don't, you know, you can just pop into my page and you're going to see my live. Many people share it, and it's going to be there on Sunday evening at 7.
All right, we come in to peep. Don't worry about it.
You're coming to join in and celebrate.
Yes,
As we share some great relationship tips as well.
All right, that's great, great. Thank you so very much. And I wish you happy Valentine's Day in advance.
Blessed and happy Valentine's to you, and to all our Morning Barbados viewers. Have a great Valentine's Day and Valentine's weekend.
Thank you so very much.